The lights are off and away they
From around the globe, they gather in the virtual world, former champions looking to glory, legends in their own time preparing to dominate.
Welcome to the Global Sim Racing channel, live on YouTube and Twitch. You are watching the QRS Blondies MX-5 World Tour, sponsored by Blondies Bar in Long Beach, the place to be. Today the MX-5 Tour will be in the UK at the very famous Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, and we are running round number 5 of season 8. I'm Richard Losper, and with me in the broadcast booth are my two buddies Ayrton Ellis and Bill Zahn. Directing the broadcast action is Giancarlo Lenzi, using the great camera sets provided by Dougie Beard. Now Ayrton, welcome. This track over in the UK, tell the folks at home about this track.
Thanks, Richard. Well, it is definitely one of the most famous British tracks. It's formerly known as the British Grand Prix Circuit, but today these guys are going to be racing the small but fun Mazda MX-5. The course is about 2.3 miles long, or 3.7 kilometers, and has 9 turns, many of them named after famous motorcycle champions. And this track also has quite a lot of dramatic elevation changes, so plenty of exciting challenges for these guys and a lot of fast corners as well. These guys are going to be running a 26-lap race, which will last about 45 minutes, so quite a short sprint for these guys. They're going to have to do one pit stop throughout the race as well.
Thank you, Ayrton. Now, Bill, the championship for this season is just been marvelous to follow. Tell us all about this championship, because I'm really interested that Richard Eklund, who has only raced one race, is sitting at the top there.
Yeah, we're gonna start with a little poem here. Yesterday, on the top stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish he'd go away. Now that was penned by 4-time Indy champion Rick Mears, and well, or maybe it was, I don't know. But who's ever responsible for it? The words perfectly depict the point standing situation. Now, if you look at the top, on the top of the chart there, well, actually on the top stair, is a man who isn't there, and that being Richard Eklund. Now, the Season 6 champion, Eklund, has only raced in one race this season, and he won it. That was at Silverstone. And the Blondies series doesn't use drop races like so many other series do. What they do is a unique system that compensates drivers for missed races based on their average score. So Eklund's outstanding point average, one race, one victory, he's actually been credited with 365 points. That puts him at the top of the chart. Unfortunately for Eklund, and for the other drivers in the same situation like Jesper Peterson and Ade Cobo-Lopez, the rules require drivers to race in at least half the races. And that's why if you look on the chart there, you'll see Eklund and Peterson and Lopez ranked 51st, 52nd, and 53rd. They're actually ranked down below the other guys who've met that minimum participation requirement. So our real points leader is Uros Jelenko, and he's sitting at 15 points ahead of Evan Maillard and 39 points ahead of Sergio Mora. Now look, rookie Dave Galink, and he's somebody to keep an eye on because he's here today, joins former champions Sam McAleer and Juan Koumans and Yao Freitas, rounding out the top 10, or in this case, really the top 7. So unless those drivers who are under 50% participation, unless they can get that participation rates up to at least half the races, they will grant the author's wish, his wish that they go away. So back to you, Rich.
Thank you very much there, Bill. Well, I missed out on playing the lap guide, so let's do that now, the lap guide, and you can see what it takes to take the MX-5 around this track. Giancarlo?
All right, let's do a lap around the Grand Prix circuit of Brands Hatch with Giancarlo Lenzi behind the wheel of the GSRC MX-5. Paddock Hill Bend is up first, this infamous right-hander just drops away from you. And then you hit the bottom of the hill and the grip comes back and it's right back up into Druids. This uphill means you can brake very, very late, but you want to square off this 180-degree turn and then plunge right back down the hill, and it's into Graham Hill Bend. There's going to be a lot of runoff at the end of this left-hander. You got to use all of it if you want to get a fast lap. Get the car straightened out, and then it's a short straight on into Surtees. Left-hander once again, but this time very late apex, and it's uphill. Not only that, but it leads onto the backstretch here. Just look at how long you're going uphill. So if you get on the power too late, you're going to just lose so much speed going through here. On over the crest and then plunging back down into the valley, we head towards Hawthorne. Deceptively fast right-hander. This kicks off a sequence of corners on the back section of this course of just very tricky right-hand corners. Then into Westfield. Just clip the apex here and track out to the runoff and try and keep it on the track. The barriers are so close on either side. Then a very scary corner, Dingledell. Incredibly blind, and you're coming in with a lot of speed. And there's not much time to catch your breath because then you've got Sterling. A lot of banking on this left-hander, so just chuck the car in there and then carry your momentum through. Once again, it's another short straight, and then you come to the last corner on the circuit, Clark. Bit of a crest here, and the car is going to push all the way around there. But you got to get on the power because you're back onto the front straightaway, which is really a right-hand curve all the way back uphill and to the start-finish line. But that is a lap around Brands Hatch.
Welcome back, folks, to the Blondies QRS MX-5 World Tour. We are at the Great Brands Hatch circuit, and let me tell you that the guys are a little way from the start just yet, about 2 minutes before they will start gridding up. So it is time for us to do the Cozy Cabins keys to the race. Ed, tell us what's going to be the keys to getting to the finish, first of all, and perhaps winning this race.
Well, the biggest factor, which has been the biggest thing so far this season, is going to be pit strategy. These guys, only have 28% fuel of their tanks, so they're going to have to make at least one pit stop to make it to the end of the race. They are running on a fixed setup as well. But the interesting thing is I'm wondering if some of these guys might take tires. This track has a lot of fast corners, so it could burn through the tires as well. Though it is quite a cloudy day, so there might not be as much heat on the track, so the tires might not burn out as much. The other thing that I got to mention is managing traffic. We've seen quite a few upsets so far this season. We've got top drivers who run into lap traffic, so that's going to be a factor. These guys have to be careful on this track with the fast corners that I mentioned before, because there is plenty of runoff space, but also there are some corners that have some walls pretty close. So if they have contact with a driver, that could very well end their race. Back to you, Richard. Those are the Cozy Cabins keys to the race.
Thank you indeed. Well, you know, Bill, we were talking a little bit earlier on about this championship. Are there any guys here that are carrying penalties into this race?
Well, no, we have a ton, and I mean a ton. I can almost not name somebody who isn't on warning, but there's nobody who's on probation. But there are a lot of drivers that if they make another mistake, they're going to be doing a stop and go next week. Now, we do have one driver who's been suspended, and that was Jesus Cecilia. In the second race, in the first lap, he really kind of punted Jan Koemans. And then again in race number 4, he got put off the grass by Maillard, and Maillard got a penalty for that. But he stayed on the grass, and Ayrton actually saw it during the broadcast and mentioned it. He came right back across the track, took out Thomas Szabo, and then did a donut in front of everybody. So we're sitting Jesus down for a race and gonna let him understand what we're really trying to accomplish here. It's a little different than what he's used to, and we're probably a little culture shock for him.
All right. Well, look, the time has run out on the practice, the warm-up, and the guys will be getting ready to start on the grid now. So let's real quick go through the grid. Ethan, you start us off.
Well, starting on pole with the quick 6 gimmick is going to be Tomás Szabo. Next to him is Carlos Torres. In third will be Simon Van June. In fourth, Thomas Torp. Sergio Moore is going to be in fifth. then Evan Maillard in 6th to end the quick skimmick, then Brad Whitten in 7th, Sam McLear in 8th, Dave Galink in 9th, and Jake Tucker in 10th.
And in 11th place, we've got Joseph Aero, followed by Amjad Yaman, Roy Visser in 13th, Derek Holland in 14th, Dujan Boulder in 15th, Billy Bob Wright in 16th, Sonny Kanchan in 17th, Tom Rathy 18th, Dexter Castro in 19th. Welcome back, Dexter. And in 20th place, Bill Driss Nice.
I'll run through the last ones. Jump in if I don't finish. 21st, Louis Baboni, Robert Ripple, Jerem Yursum in 23rd, Benjamin Lanowit 24th, Matthias Sony, and I'll wrap up 26th. Jonathan Kerr will get the rest of these later. Go back to you, Rich.
And the green light has come down, and they're off. And our leader is Tomas Zabo. He leads them off. He is followed immediately by Carlos Torres. A great position for Carlos to be starting in. He's followed then by Simon Van Duyn, and we see Sergio Mura in turn 1 getting a bit loose there. He's under attack immediately by Evan Maillard and Brad Whitten. Ayrton, go ahead, Bill. What do you think?
I see Giannis is off. Giannis is off. Ayrton, do you see somebody else?
Yeah, Simon Van Duyn got spun in turn 1. He's off as well. Same with Tom Ratchie. Dries Nice also is out, just exited his car, so he's out of the race.
Well, that is really unfortunate, but I'm glad to say that Sergio Mura did manage to collect his car. He was very, very loose coming out of turn 1 out on the marbles there, but he did save it, and he's sitting in 4th place. Evan Maillard did pass him, and behind him is Dave Galink. What's happened to Brad Whitten, who was right in there as well?
It looks like he actually has some damage to his car. He's getting passed by Simon Van Duyn, so I think he had contact with another driver as well. Him and Van Duyn are both at the back of the field, so very poor starts for those two.
Yeah, I need to have a good look at that again there, but I have a feeling that he came into contact with... he didn't touch Sergio Mura because I was watching that, but I think he may have had a touch with the car just behind Evan Maillard, because Evan Maillard was right in there pushing to get through the hairpin and overtake Sergio Mura. But as they stand at the moment, Tomas Zabo leading this race. Very good run from Tomas Zabo. In 2nd place, still Carlos Torres, but Evan Maillard is catching him fast there. Bill, what are you seeing around the further back?
Well, I was just going back and reviewing. Giannis really got in a collective with Dries Nice, and I think both of those guys might have their day done. Dries Nice is out, I'm getting from director, so we'll see how Giannis, if he can get back in, but it looks like his car was pretty squirrely.
Alrighty. Well, guys, somebody I would like to have a good look at today is your friend Ayrton Dexter Castro. Now, he makes a return to racing. His computer has been broken for quite some time. It's all fixed now by the looks of things. He's back in racing again, racing in the regular series, as well as a return to Blondies. Currently sitting in 9th place, so that's a good start for him.
Yeah, considering he started in 19th place, that's an excellent run. He managed to get through a lot of the incidents that happened in those first couple laps, so really good run for him, but it looks like there's quite a bit of action in front of him. David Galink and Amjad Yaman are just touched bumpers a little bit as they're battling in a group of 4 with Sam McLear. I think that's also Jake Tucker with him as well.
That's correct. Jake Tucker is just behind Amjad Yaman, having a run on Amjad right at the moment. Amjad has him covered, though, as they go into that very fast left-hander. Now they go down to the final turn. And I want to tell you, they're going 2 wide, possibly 3 wide here, as poor old Carlos Torres is under attack by 3 of them, and Jake Tucker almost getting into the back of Amjad Yaman there, but manages to give some braking and does not make contact. So this is good. Carlos Torres manages to stay ahead of Amjad Yaman, but Amjad is making a run. Already we see Dave Galink has made the pass on Amjad. He's having a look now at Sam McAleer up ahead of him, and just up ahead of him we've got Sergio Mura. Then we've got Evan Maillard. So your top 3, Tomas Zabo. Ayrton, Tomas has made a clean getaway.
Yeah, well, he had the advantage. He's always been a really fast driver. He had the advantage of starting up pole, so he was naturally going to get a lead there, but he definitely is working really hard since Meyer got held up a little bit by Torres, who started in second. He actually went off track while fighting with Meyer, and he's dropped back into that big battle that's fighting for 5th place at the moment. So a couple of mistakes already happening for a lot of these top drivers.
Yeah, unfortunate, but certainly that has given the advantage to Tomas Zabo. Let us hope that he can have a good race. We remember last week, Bill, he had an unfortunate incident taken out by the very Jesus Cecilia, who got very loose in a battle with Evan Maillard. And unfortunately, it ended badly, not for those two, but indeed for Tomas Zabo.
Yeah, he's really due some good luck here. And I've been spending most of this race reviewing the people who are out. Tom Rathie is out. He got loose in the first corner, maybe the second quarter, and came across the nose of Jerem Yursum. So he's out. And I'm looking at Brad Wooden. It looks like his day might be done as well.
Oh, that's a pity. That is a real pity, because I want to say that Brad Wooden is really, really good at this track. It's one of his absolute favorites, I know. So to have him out this early in the race is unfortunate. However, Ayrton, we have ourselves here, we're on lap number 4 right now. We've got a 26 lap race. We know that the fuel can take these guys about 25 minutes, so that's going to be somewhere around 15 laps or so.
Yeah, Richard, the pit window is going to be 10 to 16, I think is where we're looking at.
Okay, so Ayrton, back to you. Let's have a look at Sam McAleer. Now, Sam has had a terrific run this season, and it looks like that run is continuing. Let's hope I don't put the commentator's curse on Sam McAleer, but he is sitting in a very good 4th position, Ayrton, just behind Sergio Mura.
Yeah, Sam, he has had a really good run this season. He's been getting consistent top 10s and actually has been qualifying outside the top 10 for majority of the races. This time he's qualified in 8th place, so that's actually a much better qualifying position for him this race. So I'm looking to see if he might be able to battle for that podium. He's right behind Sergio Mora at this point of the race, who's behind Evan Maillard, so it's going to be a tough challenge since these are some really fast guys.
Okay, Timo Tulianen just put it in the wall at full speed. It looked like he had a mechanical problem. Oh, it hurt.
Oh, yes. It always happens. We have to remember that we are dependent in virtual racing on our computers. And if something untoward happens with the computer or the internet connection, well, your day can end very suddenly. But Bill, I want to talk quickly about Dave Galink. Now, he is sitting in 5th place. Tell us a little bit about this gentleman. He's coming to this series this season only. Haven't seen him in an MX-5 much previously, and doing a marvelous job.
Yeah, just to follow up on Timo Tulianen, it looked like his engine blew right before his head, so I don't know what went on there. Galink's a rookie. He's doing very well, and he's got a great opportunity to score some points without some big names being here today. Koemans, Eklund, Freitas are all not here. Jelenko is not here. So, yeah, this guy is fast. Now, he got into a little contact with Brad Wooden that put Wooden out of the race, and the IRT is going to have to look at that one. But, yeah, this guy is good, and he could certainly get a podium right now sitting in 5th place.
Yeah, and just behind him actually is one of the greats, I will say, Amjad Yaman. Amjad is just an absolute professor at racing this MX-5. His strategy is excellent. And here we see today, Ayrton, he is sitting behind Galink, who goes way off in the grass there on that turn number 6, I think it is. And Amjad Yaman could not take advantage of it because he was just a little too far back. Now they will be coming to that very, very fast right-hand section, and then they have a left-hand turn which is quite tight. Amjad tries to put the car in a position to make a move, but can't get it done at this stage. Dave Galink manages to stay ahead of him, but this is a really good battle here for what is in fact the 5th position, Ayrton.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about this track is that on a lot of the corners, it's very easy for these to run off. Hold on a second, Amjad Yaman is actually going on the outside, got a very good run out of the final corner. Looks like he's going to try to make the outside move on Dave Galink. It's a blind corner, very difficult to make an outside move, but they go side by side into turn 1. Looks like Amjad Yaman might be able to hold the outside, just drops out as he switches back to the inside as he gets to run out of that corner for turn 2. Dave Galink goes really tight on the entry of that corner. They're still side by side as they're heading down to turn 3. Looks like Dave Galink is going to get the edge, so Amjad Yaman is going to have to wait once again for another run.
Terrific driving there by Dave Galink. Wasn't phased at all by the fact that Amjad Hammond was next to him most of the way from the final turn all the way through. Now they're single file again, but of course their battling has given Carlos Torres an opportunity to catch right up to them. They're still going at it, hammer and tongs. We see Amjad again going on the outside as they go to the very fast right-hander there. Amjad Yaman slightly ahead, but Dave Galink's on the inside. Carlos Torres now seizes an opportunity, tries to get on the inside of Amjad Yaman. Amjad will have none of it. He's still focused on battling, and they go out on the marbles there. That will give Carlos the opportunity, Ethan, and he makes up one position now just in front of Amjad Yaman. Amjad has now to battle with two of them before he can get into 5th place.
Yeah, Jake Tucker wanted a bit of that as well. I'm wondering Amjad Yaman might have a little bit of damage. He really punted Galink's rear bumper there, so hopefully that doesn't cause too much, because getting some damage on that front bumper of these cars really affects the top speed. That could hurt him a lot since this track has quite a few straights.
Well, this position battle here for the 5th place, 6th, 7th, and 8th place is probably the best that we are looking at the moment. Unless, Bill, you have something for us?
Well, let's go back to 10th place with Roy Visser. He's in a nice battle. It looks like, if I can see that, it's Visser and who is that ahead of him there? It looks like it might be No, it's Joseph Arrow. There's our veteran, and that's as Visser dives to the inside and takes. They're both in dark cars there. It looks like that's Visser who got the lead.
Well, I'm seeing Roy Visser at the moment. Who's in front of him? Joseph Arrow just got ahead of Visser, and ahead of them is Dexter Castro. So at this point in time, he has actually lost it. Now he comes back at him in turn number 4 there, but Joseph Arrow will have none of it. And Joseph Arrow now has Dexter Castro in his sights there. Dexter has just returned to racing in this series, and I'm getting information that there's a battle going on up front, Ayrton, between Tomas Zabo, Evan Meyer just behind him at the moment.
Yeah, Evan is right on the rear, has caught up extremely quickly to Tomas Zabo for the lead, so he's right on the rear. It's already looking ready to try to make a move. He's already poked his nose out in a few corners so far in this last lap, so I think he's going to be eager to get to the lead of this race.
Well, let's keep an eye on this battle, because this is the battle for P1, and Tomas at the moment keeping ahead of Evan Meyer. We know that Evan Meyer is an absolute master of the MX-5. Drives this car, I suppose. I wonder if he drives his own car as hard as he does this MX-5, because we are told that he owns an MX-5 Ayrton, and it is kind of the same sort of bronze color as what he races.
Yeah, and he's been known as one of the top MX-5 drivers on the surface, so it's not surprising that he's consistently battling at the front in this series. But Tomas Zabo is definitely no slouch. He's just as fast. Hasn't had the best luck this season, but he's definitely very fast. Just saw a car on the side of the road. That's Robert Ripple. Looks like he had an instant in that corner last lap. He decided to keep his car sitting there for now.
Well, the battle is on. They are certainly nose to tail at the moment. Now we see going to the inside, Evan Meyer being squeezed by Tomas Zabo. Tomas decides to give way. They go through side by side into turn number 6, not afraid to duke it out, so to speak. And looks like Evan Meyer does take the advantage. Tomas has to concede the corner and falls in behind now as they come to that sequence. 6, 7, and 8, or 5, 6, 7. I always forget which the corner numbers are. Great corners. Love this track. Absolutely love this track, Bill.
Yeah, and just to point out on your leaders up there, viewers have to note, Maillard was your fastest qualifier because he's doing so well in the standings, so he got put back to 6th place. So he had to make his way through 5 guys before he could get up there.
That is correct, and he has got up there. He is in P1 at the moment, followed by Tomas Zabo, and judging by the pace he has here, Ayrton, he's got the bit between the teeth right now. Hey, have a look at 3rd place. That's Sergio Moura. He's starting to catch up on Tomas Zabo as well, Ayrton.
Yeah, those guys battling definitely helped him catch up, and he's now within drafting distance now. With these launch straights, you can definitely get a nice amount of draft. Sam McLear is also not that far behind as well, so this could be a 4-horse race, but then again, Evan Maillard has been running extremely fast laps, and he was able to reel in Tomás Zabo, so I wouldn't be surprised if he runs away with this.
That is correct. As we see now, let's have a look. Tomás Zabo is starting to fall back a little bit from Evan Maillard. Sergio Moura having a good look at Tomás. Sergio and Tomás are battling for the second place. And as you said, Sam McAlee a little way back. But if these guys do start battling, make no mistake, Sam McAlee will be right up there. Carlos Torres, impressive run from him today, Ayrton, in the 5th place. The battle has kind of faded out with Dave Galink. Amjad Yaman still struggling now to keep pace with Dave Galink. As we see somebody on the grass there. Who is that? Is that Carlos Torres on the grass? Somebody just...
Simon Van June. He's a lap car.
Simon Van June it is. Okay, so Simon has got some problems. Obviously a little bit of damage to Simon's car. He was involved in one of the incidents. But Jake Tucker on the rear end of Amjad Yaman. Jake having a great run today, Bill. He's a fast guy, make no mistake. He just has been sort of outclassed by these really, really fast guys, but he's doing a good job today.
Yeah, let's talk about these guys battling back here. Galink has put a little distance on Yaman for 6th place, but right behind Yaman in that pink car is Jake Tucker, like Richard just talked about. But somebody who's really driving his Italian rear end off is Joseph Aro. If you go back to him, GL, he's right behind Dexter Castro. He's ran him down. Arrow running in the top 10. Now that's a great finish for a great position for him.
And look, Dexter Castro way out on the sand or on the sandy section there of turn number 1. Given Joseph Arrow, just as you said, Bill, given an opportunity to catch right up. But here we come through the turn number 3 where we see that Dexter Castro is really fast. Joseph Arrow can't do anything about him there. Going into the left-hander, turn number 4. Very tricky turn this, but a very fast turn as well if you get it right. And Dexter certainly did then, and he moves a little bit ahead of Joseph Arrow. But a terrific run from Joseph Arrow, no doubt. But just behind him we have Roy Visser as well, and Visser seems to be catching Joseph Arrow. I'm not sure, Ayrton, whether this has been an ongoing battle or whether Visser has just caught up, but certainly he's within striking distance of Joseph Arrow right now.
Yeah, a few laps ago, those guys are actually racing side by side. They haven't been given much room at all, so that battle has definitely been really intense at the moment. There's also the battle for second that's been really it's getting to be exciting, but as I say that, Sergio Moura actually heads straight into the pits. He's going to start the pit window off out of the leaders.
And we are on lap number 10, so exactly right there, Bill. Lap number 10 it is, and Sergio Moura, the first of our front runners, certainly, to go into the pits. He gives up the position there to Sam McAlee, temporarily, one would imagine. So Sam slots now into 3rd place behind Tomás Zabo and Evan Maillard. And other people in the pits, there's only the one. Oh, Amjad Yaman's in the pits as well.
Yeah,
yes,
Yaman
Sergio Moura and Amjad Yaman in the pits there. So these guys are taking the early pit stop. So we'll keep an eye on what they're doing. No doubt Amjad has got perhaps a little bit of damage. We'll see if that is the case. But certainly those two guys they've come out of the pits already. So quite a fast pit stop for them. There are obviously no tires there, Ayrton.
Yeah, definitely not this early. And I mean, Sergio Moura actually has really shown some skill in the pit lane. He actually beat Jan Cummins last week through the pit strategy. He passed him in the pits, not on track. So he definitely is showing some knowledge in the pit lane, as well as Amjad Yaman, as we've been considering him the doctor for so long.
That is correct. And the two of them, Bill, I'll come back to you in a sec. The two of them have shown that it is sometimes advantageous to take the early pit stop. We'll see how that works out for them, Bill.
Yeah, well, what Yaman was doing, he was being held up by Galink, so he came in early, I think, to get some fast laps in. Now, Moura and Yaman both took left side tires only, so that's what's going on with those guys.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, they've come out respectively in around 15th position there. We've got Amjad Yaman. Is he in front of... Yes, he is actually in front of Sergio Moura, directly in front of Sergio Moura. So he beat him out of the pits, and he's looking real pacey at the moment. So if they can run some clean laps, as Bill always says, You come out take the early pit stop, come out in clean air, pardon me, and then run some really fast laps, and that can stand you in good stead when the others go into the pits. Correct, Bill?
Yeah, and lap traffic is a big thing here. It's a big track, so it's not like you come up on the guys a lot, but it's really narrow, so it's hard for those back markers sometimes to get out of the way as easily as it was last week at like Road Atlanta, where it's really wide and it's simple to do it. Here, even though the track is big, lap traffic is still a big factor, but Yaman right now has a clear track ahead of him, so he's putting in some nice lap times.
Yeah, good to see, and no doubt when the other guys pit, we'll see where Amjad Yaman. So we'll keep an eye on Amjad and Sergio and see what happens when the other guys go into the pits. No one is in the pits besides Robert Ripple at the moment, but he's virtually a lap car. Ayrton, let's go back to the front here with Evan Maillard. Now, Evan has yet to pit, but he is putting a lot of distance between himself and Tomas Szabo. Tomas is certainly struggling to keep up with him and losing time. So Tomas might also take advantage of an early pit stop, I would think.
Yeah, Evan, he started running away in the first few laps that he passed Szabo, but he hasn't really gained much ground since gaining a 1 second lead. So Szabo's still keeping him in check, making sure that if Evan does make any mistakes, that he'll be right there to pounce on any of those mistakes. And same with McAleer as well. He's been sitting right behind Szabo, actually closing in on him bit by bit each lap. So McAleer is definitely no one to count out through this. And I'm actually interested to see Sergio Mora apparently had a very slow pit stop. He was actually passed by Yaman. So I'm wondering if either Yaman had a very, very fast pit stop or Mora just had an extremely slow one and made a mistake with what his settings were and lost out in that. So I'm wondering where those guys will be when the other guys pit in the lead.
Yeah, we're getting information that the Yaman had a slightly faster pit stop. I'm looking at their fastest laps, and Evan Maillard has done the fastest lap, 140.287, and he seems to be lapping around the 140.8 mark at the moment. Whereas Tomas Szabo just did a 141.0, so it looks like Evan Maillard's are 2 or 3 tenths faster every lap, so that's certainly gonna get him away from these two, and he wants to be doing that. When you're in the lead, in my opinion, it might be advantageous to stay out there and take a late pit stop and just see how your tires are, if they're going to be any good to go in. There we see the two, Tomas Szabo and Sam McAleer, coming into the pits now, so exactly panning out the way we just spoke about, Bill.
Yeah, and there's a good battle going on. We can get there in a second between Billy Bob Wright and Derek Holland. But let's keep an eye on, maybe we can go keep an eye on Amjad Yaman. We'll see if he can get around the track ahead of the who just came into the pits.
Correct, and that's Sam McAleer and, of course, Sam McAleer and Tomas Szabo it was. Now, I've got my camera on Sergio Mora, and, of course, we've got just ahead of him, although there's a lap car in between, Amjad Yaman. Now, Amjad just coming out of the final corner, going around that curved straight. Where are the guys in the pits?
They're ahead. McAleer came out well ahead of Szabo. The reason for that is because Szabo took 4 tires while McAleer just took left side tires like Yaman and Sergio did. So Szabo actually lost a lot of time. Not as much as Sergio, but McAleer gaining a lot out of this. Through the pit stop cycle, he's going to come out in second if he doesn't pass Maillard.
Well, and we see Sergio Mora being held up a little bit by a lap car there, trying to get past him. That is Louis Baboni. Now, Louis is no slouch behind the wheel of an MX-5. Perhaps not the fastest, a mid-pack guy in this sort of company, but he's giving Sergio Mora plenty of trouble. Meanwhile, up ahead of them, we have Amjad Yaman, who is now coming up on Sonny Kenchin, my neighbor from Sydney. And Sonny is going to give him some trouble, no doubt, as well, because Sonny Kenchin is also another fast guy in this car. However, Amjad Yaman is making up time on him, so we'll keep an eye on these two guys, Amjad Yaman and, of course, Sergio Mora, as they have personal battles now with cars that are not perhaps as fast as they are, but are very useful drivers. So it'll be interesting to see how that develops. Meanwhile, Carlos Torres Ayrton has inherited the lead, which obviously means that Evan Maillard has gone into the pits.
Yep, he just came out, and he actually came out well ahead of Sam McAleer. I'm not sure if he took tires. I'll check on that.
Alrighty, so Carlos Torres currently leading, followed by Jake Tucker and Joseph Aero. Evan Maillard showing as being in 4th place at this point in time, with Sam McAleer behind him. Tomas Szabo lost out quite significantly during the pit stops, but as you said, Ayrton, he took 4 tires. Now that might work out for him in the end. Somehow I don't think it will. Not with this sort of weather here, Bill.
Yeah, there's the backwards. There was a great battle between Holland and Billy Bob Wright, but they both come into the pit, so we don't need to cover that. Now, Carlos Torres is still out there. We're looking at lap number 15. I think he can go one more. Carlos Torres in that Colombian coffee-colored car there. Jake Tucker running in second. Those guys have yet to make their pit stop, but Maillard is out. Now, Maillard had a 17-second pit stop. That's about what Meckeler did. But Szabo had a 24-second pit stop, taking all 4 tires. So we'll see, like you said, if those 4 tires, when we come down to lap 24, 25, and 26, if Szabo is going to have an advantage over these guys.
Indeed, and bearing in mind we are now on lap 15 already. So not that many laps left in the race, Ayrton. Lap 15 out of 24. That leaves them about 9 laps to go next time by the line. So Carlos Torres will have to go into the pits very, very soon. He's coming around the back of the course right now. Jake Tucker as well. Evan Maillard, certainly of the guys who have pitted, he's well in front of everyone else. Now let me just see. So Evan Maillard, Sam McAleer is the next best of those who have pitted, and Tomas Szabo. So Sam has certainly jumped Tomas now. That's going to be the interesting battle, Ayrton, to see whether Tomas can catch Sam McAleer and get back that second position.
Well, the thing that I'm also keeping an eye on is to see if McAleer might be able to catch on to Maillard, because Maillard actually didn't take any tires at all. McAleer took both left, and then Szabo took all 4. So out of those 3, Szabo's definitely going to be the fastest. McAleer should be the second fastest. So I'm wondering if these guys, towards the end of the race, are all going to close in on each other.
Well, that's quite interesting you mentioned that, because I just noticed that Evan Maillard going to turn number 3 got really wide. I wonder if that's a tire issue. We shall see. Sam McAleer behind him. Let's see. He's going through turn number 5 right now, Evan Maillard. And Sam McAleer, where is Sam? Sam is now... Sorry, I was looking at the wrong car there. That was Sam McAleer who got wide. Evan Maillard is in fact well ahead of him, and he's coming up on Joseph Aero, trying to put a lap on him. So it just goes to show the speed differential that Joseph Aero, good driver, is being lapped by the leader already.
Actually, Richard, that's for position, because Aero has not come in yet for a pit stop. So Maillard's being held up by these guys who are running long, like Aero and Tucker. There goes Aero in for his first stop right now.
Yes, well, go ahead.
Aero was actually up to 3rd place, so nice job from my Italian friend. Good job. Joseph Aero's run 80 races in this series, more than anybody. So we still have it looks like Torres has come into the pit stops as well, and Tucker. So everybody's making their pit stops now.
That is correct, and we see Jake Tucker is coming out as well as, and we see that Sergio Mura has passed these guys as we would expect. Sergio Mura now moving into 4th place. Tomas Szabo still ahead of Sergio Mura. Very interesting that those guys at the top there, Tomas and Evan and Sam McAleer, were all on different pit strategies there. We'll have to see how that works out for them, Ayrton.
Yeah, Mora actually just made a move on Yama, going into turn 1, successfully got it. So I think that's going to punt him up to 4th place, right behind Szabo, as you said. So that battle was going on for quite a little while. Now it seems like Mora finally got the better of it after having a pretty poor pit stop.
And it looks as if Amjad Yaman, he's behind Sergio Mura. So Sergio is now in 4th place. Evan Maillard's still leading very, very well. He's about 5 seconds ahead of Sam McAleer at this point in time, which is a very large gap with only 9 laps. I don't think anyone will catch him, even if he's got bad tires, Ayrton.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean, McAleer would have to bet on Meyer getting caught in lap traffic. The closest lap traffic is Andy Morgan, which is well ahead. So this could be, as long as Meyer doesn't make any mistakes, he could really come home with this, and that could earn him his 3rd win of the season.
Yeah, correct. And Sam McAleer, just having a look at the gap between himself and Tomas Szabo, that as well is over 5 seconds. So these strategies for each of the individuals, it looks like Evan's strategy worked out the best. Don't take any tires at all. So 4th place, interesting. Sergio Mura and Jake Tucker. Obviously, Sergio has just overtaken Jake Tucker there, because he's now moved into 4th place. And Bill, I'm getting information that we haven't done the last call yet. Might be time for you to do your last call.
Let's do it right now. Jump in if something exciting happens. Last call brought to you by Blondies Bar in Long Beach. Last call when everyone gets more desperate and less unattractive. We're going to start in the 22nd position with Andy Morgan in that car, that cow-colored car. Of the series, he's the last driver on the lead lap, having a good race right now. We move 1 spot up to 20th. I'm going to go up to Jerem Yursum there in the pink Blondies car. I'm showing him as running, I guess, in 21st right now. Races that pink car for his daughter. Nice finish for him. We go up 1 more spot. Well, I'm going to jump all the way to, Jonathan Kerr's going in the pits, so I don't know where we're going to go. Director, let's go to Benjamin Nelson. Can you find Benjamin Nelson in that yellow car there? He's running, I got him as 21st right now. He's a rookie in the series. Let's go ahead to Jonathan Kerr. I have him ranked 19th right now. He's somewhere in there. He's the only roadster driver in that Roadster Preservation Society car. Nice job. He's having a good race. We talked about him last week. He's really excellent. This is going to sound like a backhanded compliment, but he's great at going slow and getting out of the way of the lead car drivers. Sorry about that if that wasn't very much fun to talk about there. 1 more driver up to Stefan Morien, the friendly Canadian. He hasn't raced much this season. Having a nice race. I count him right now in currently 18th position. And I think we have time for 2 more drivers. We're going to go up to Sonny Ketchum, running 17th on my chart in that dark colored car all by himself. And we're going to wrap up our backmarker salute with our Ironman champion, Benjamin Lanowet. And it looks like, is he in another battle there? He's in another, it's a Benjamin battle there for 16th and 15th between Benjamin Lanowet and Benjamin Callow. Lanowet behind, Callow in that kind of multicolored camouflaged, I have no idea what it is. So that's your backmarker review, brought to you by Blondie's Bar in Long Beach, the place to be. Richard?
Thank you, Bill. And yes, indeed, a little battle between Benjamin Lanowet and Benjamin Callow here. Benjamin Callow is a very useful driver. Obviously loves the current track that we're racing in the Advanced Series, which is Mid-Ohio. He's doing very, very well there. As we see these guys, Benjamin Lanowet makes a move on him, goes clean by into the turn number 2 there, and the switchback works beautifully for Benjamin Callow, just takes him right back again, and the status quo is the same as it was. Back to the front, Ayrton, what's happening up there?
Looks like Evan Maillard is actually gaining or extending ground from Sam McAleer. Sam McAleer hasn't been running actually that fast laps. Considering that he has those fresh left side tires, he seems to be struggling a little bit, maybe taking some time to get used to them. And with that, Tomas Szabo is actually catching up to him. So I'm not sure if there will be a battle for first, but there could well be one for second.
Well, we've got the gap as being something like 3 seconds between second and third place. So you might be right, Ayrton, but we are on lap number 20. Let's have a look at Tomas Szabo, who's pulling out all the stops now to try and catch Sam McAleer. You can see Sam McAleer. There's nothing like being able to see your adversary up ahead of you to give you some extra adrenaline to get that car moving as fast as you possibly can. And Tomas Szabo really putting down some hot laps at this point, trying to catch. You're quite right, Ed. I don't think they're going to catch Evan Maillard. He's too experienced and too fast for them to catch, even with bad tires. And this track today, no doubt, would have been friendly to the tires. Sergio Mura, bad strategy for him there in the pit stops. A very slow pit stop he had, and now it's not paying off. And Amjad Yaman as well. He's got Sergio Mura inside. There could be a battle developing here, Ayrton, in the closing laps.
Yeah, these guys have been together for quite a while. I think Amjad Yaman, he just needs to get close enough to pounce. Sergio Mora's doing a good job at keeping him at that distance so he can't really get a run, even if he does make a mistake. So Sergio Mora, even though he did have that not so good pit stop, he is making the most of what he has and securing that 4th place position from Amjad at this point of the race. So he could have been battling for that podium at the moment, but just wasn't a great stop for him. I kind of want to have a talk with him after the race if we could, to see what his strategy was, because there's a huge difference in times between the pit stops, of about 13-second difference, which helps Yaman catch up to Mora after those pit stops.
Yeah, Mura did not have the greatest season at the start, Bill, but he's made up for it. I think he's somewhere like 4th or 5th in the championship right now.
Yeah, well, the new qualifying procedure where it's a 2-lap lone qualifying, he had one race where he couldn't get in a clean lap and he had to start at the back of the field, and that he had to work his way through. That's different from last season where it was open 20-minute, 30-minute actually qualifying session, where pretty much you guaranteed yourself to qualify to grid just about as where you are in speed. And Yaman is running down Mora. You know, Mark Twain said that history never repeats itself, but it does rhyme. And this sounds very similar to what we just saw last week at the Conti series with Mora and Yaman battling it out. Sure, it's a different track. Things are different. It's not exactly the same, but it looks real similar.
Yes, you're quite right there. Let me tell you, yes, Amjad Yaman is catching up to Sergio Mora. Sergio Mora is a seasoned campaigner, though. You mentioned the CSCS. That is another sister series. These guys are battling it out over there, and they're battling it out over here. Some great racing from these guys who are quite experienced at driving this car, Ayrton. And Sergio Mora seems to have him covered at the moment. He seems to be able to step up to the plate and get a bit of time on Amjad the moment Amjad comes too close. But let's go and have a look at the battle between Makalia and Tamar Zabo. Is there any kind of battle? Doesn't look like it.
Well, Zaba is definitely closing in. In this last lap, he closed in half a second, so he keeps on gaining ground. He has about 4 or 5 laps to do it now. So I think he could catch him. Mikalir is really struggling at the moment. I'm wondering if it's with his tire there or something, but he's definitely really struggling at the moment. He's saving fuel, maybe he's short fueled. That could be a possibility as well. But either way, Zaba is definitely looking hungry to get the 2nd place.
Well, Tamar Zabo took the 4 tires, as you mentioned. That is paying off now. You're quite right. The gap by the line last time by was about 3 seconds. Certainly looks less than that at the moment. I'd say it's around 2 seconds, perhaps even less than that. So Tamar Zabo, let's see if he can make that move. Sergio Mora another 4 seconds back, so he's not going to be able to catch Tamar Zabo. But our leader, Evan Maillard, he is just killing them with his pace, even without having taken tires there, Eton.
Yeah, Maillard's definitely going to be the one to beat for this season. I think he's definitely going to be one of the top contenders for the championship. And if he doesn't get caught up in some scenarios like he did last week at Road Atlanta with Cecilia, then he could definitely be the one to beat. I'm also looking at a battle for 6th place at the moment. Carlos Torres, our 2nd fastest qualifier, is trying to hound down Jake Tucker. He's right on the rear of him, looking to try to make it past in the next couple laps.
Yeah, we've got him on screen at the moment. He is following Jake Tucker. These guys have been together for a big part of the race. We're on lap 22, so only a few laps left now. 26 laps is this race. So they go out of the final corner into the curve straight there. And Carlos has not made an impression on him really. We'll see how they go into turn 1, because turn 1 is a pretty fast and a pretty tricky turn. Can he make up some ground on Jake Tucker there? Doesn't seem like it. Jake Tucker gets a brilliant exit out of turn number 1. And now they go into the hairpin. Carlos closes up during the hairpin, so perhaps a little better in the hairpin there. And then down to turn number 3, where you can go really wide and not get any penalty at all. And Jake Tucker is very good from there. So it seems to me that Jake Tucker has got him covered at the moment. So let's go back to the battle between Mora and Amjad Yaman. Looks to me, Ayrton, as if the gap there is steady as well. So we doesn't seem as if we're going to get one of those fantastic nail-biting finishes this time around.
Yeah, well, there's definitely multiple battles going on. We definitely have those two that you just talked about with Moriyama and then Tucker and Torres. But I'm still keeping an eye on this second place because Zabo is clearly closing in on McAleer at this point. McAleer actually has a lap car in front of him, Benjamin Nelson, which could possibly slow him down and put Zabo right on his rear. So this battle is definitely going to develop. And I don't think either of these guys are going to give up any positions or give up much room on this track. So I think this is going to be the one to look out for.
Yep, we've got the camera. I've got the camera on Tomas Zabo at the moment, definitely catching as they come up to the lapped car there. As you mentioned, that is Benjamin Nelson. Let's see if he holds them up as they go into the hairpin. Not a good overtaking position there. Sam McAleer coming up to Benjamin Nelson in the hairpin. Benjamin stays wide, gives them both the opportunity to get by cleanly. Great driving from Benjamin. And now, Ayrton, you're quite right. This battle is on. There is no doubt about it. Sam McAleer struggling to stay ahead now of Tomas Zabo. And Sam McAleer is in second place. We'll keep an eye on Evan Maillard so we can see that he, when he is about to cross the finish line. But this is the battle. It seems to me, Ayrton, it always comes down to this, isn't it? A battle towards the end, and normally always for around second place. Very seldom there's a battle for first place.
Yeah, I think the closest battle for first would have probably been the Sebring one. That was like 4-car battle for first, but definitely these battles that actually develop within the top 10 always end up being really exciting. Sam McAleer actually goes off on the exit of turn 6. He manages to recuperate it, but that's definitely going to cost him more time.
And I am watching the battle, which is also still on between Amjad Yaman and Sergio Mura. We saw this battle in the CES where the two of them fought tooth and nail at Road America, and Amjad Yaman came away with the win there. He's now closing up on Sergio Mura. The gap is definitely less than what it was previously. We are on lap number 24. Evan Maillard is in fact on lap 25, so he has got this lap to complete and then the following one to take the win here. But Tomas Zabo is attempting to catch Sam McAleer. He's a little way back still, so he'll have to hustle to catch up as Sam McAleer goes wide, but Tomas goes just as wide and doesn't make up any time. They're coming into the hairpin now. He does make up time. Sam McAleer gets a terrific exit from the hairpin. Tomas Zabo still close. Is he close enough to catch him in the last couple of laps, Ayrton? And keeping an eye on Sergio and Amjad as well. As they come through turn number 3, Amjad Yaman still trying to keep with Sergio Mura. The gap seems to be fairly consistent there. So this is, if one of them makes a mistake here, Ayrton, it's all over.
Yeah, Zabo's within drafting distance now, so on these straights, he's getting a slight bit of draft from McAleer. They actually don't have, they have a little bit of lap traffic ahead of them. Andy Morgan and Jeroen Ursum, which they might bump into on the final lap, but hopefully that doesn't mess up anything between these two because this is going to be extremely tight.
It is, and sorry, was that you, Bill?
No, that's your director. Maillard and Stefan Morien were talking to each other in French. I think they were lapping each other. Maillard was being lapped, so it was interesting.
That's right. Even though Stefan Morien is from Canada, obviously they speak French in Canada there, and we know that he is of French descent. Now, back to the battle. Amjad Yaman has caught up significantly. Ayrton, Evan Myers on his final lap, no doubt, but Amjad Yaman stepping up now, trying to close that gap completely to Sergio Mura, and he's succeeding. He's right behind him. What's happening with McAleer and Zabo?
Yeah, they're just as close as well. McAleer actually being held up by Jeroen Ursum, the lap traffic, who's also battling with Andy Morgan, so he's not going to want to give up position. He actually lets McAleer go by, but he definitely lost some time. So that means Tomas Zabo is right behind these guys. They've got the lap car in between. Tomas Zabo is going to have to get ahead of Ursum as well. And this is coming to the last lap, so he's going to have to really hope that McAleer gets held up by Andy Morgan a little bit so he can get a run.
And getting back to Evan Maillard. Evan Maillard is on the last lap. Nobody can catch him unless he he puts his car in the wall or something at this point in time. He is coming around. Keep an eye on those battles, guys. He is coming around the 5, 6, 7 sequence of turns. He'll go into the final, for the final time, he'll go into that really tight left-hand turn, which is the penultimate, the turn before the last turn. So coming to finish this race, Evan Maillard for his 3rd win of the season. Coming around the final turn right now, nobody can catch him. He certainly has put his stamp on this race and on this series, Bill.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and follow these other battles here as we come. It looks like Maillard and McAleer's going to get 2nd place, huh?
Yeah, Zabo just did not have enough at the end there, Ayrton. Back to Sergio Mura and Amjad Yaman, same thing there. The guys doing the chasing just did not have enough to catch the guys in front of them. So that's how they finish.
Let's go to Torres and
a bunch
Tucker
of other
here.
cars. Go ahead, Bill.
Torres and Tucker had been battling for the last 3 or 4 laps. Tucker got around Torres. Torres got it back. Tucker got it back, and it looks like it's going to end up with Torres beating Tucker for 6th and 7th place. It was a great battle we couldn't get on the screen.
Not over yet. They're coming in. Oh, yes, it is over. Sorry.
And Gellick is going to get 8th place. Let's go back to the battle of the Benjamins, Callow and Lanowet.
Yes, and this is definitely still a battle. Benjamin Callow, they come together, touch a little bit there, but it seems to me Benjamin Callow still ahead of him going into the final turn. Benjamin Lanowet makes a run in the final turn there. He has to brake sometime. He does brake, and then he falls in behind Benjamin Callow once again. And Benjamin Callow will come away with that 13th position. Benjamin Lanowet in 14th. Few other guys still finishing. Sonny Kanchan just coming through to finish his race. And then we've got the guys who are lap cars, so they no doubt will have finished. Well, guys, that is the race. Not as exciting as we've seen in terms of battles, Ayrton, but still very exciting in terms of the strategy that the different drivers employed.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a tense race. It wasn't very exciting with side-by-side battles, but there's definitely a lot of guys that are pushing extremely hard, and you can tell in all those battles within the top 10, McAleer, Zabo, Moore, Yaman, Torres, Tucker, they're all driving as hard as they can, and even though they weren't battling side-by-side, they're driving really hard on the track. So a good job from McAleer for defending that position from Zabo, especially with the pressure of the lap traffic on that last lap.
Alrighty, folks, well, we shall take a break, and then we'll come back and give you all the standings from Go to Woe, as well as line up some driver interviews. Back soon. Welcome back, folks, to the Blondies QRS MX-5 World Tour. Well, guys, we saw a very interesting race, perhaps not the most exciting in terms of battles, although there were plenty of that as well. But here are the standings as they finished. In first place, Evan Maillard. This is his third win of the season. In second place, Sam McAleer. Great race from him today. Tomas Zabo finished in third place. There's your podium. In fourth place, Sergio Moura. Fifth place, Amjad Yaman. Sixth place, a great race from Carlos Torres. In seventh place, Jake Tucker. Good race from him as well. Eighth place, Dave Galink. Ninth place for the returning Dexter Castro. And 10th place, Roy Visser. Ayrton?
Then in 11th was a great run from Joseph Arrow. William Wright finished in 12th, Benjamin Kalau in 13th, Benjamin Lanouette in 14th, Luis Baboni in 15th, Derek Holland in 16th, Sonny Canchin in 17th, Jonathan Keir in 18th, Stefan Morian in 19th, and Andy Morgan in 20th. Bill?
Yeah, and Kier, Morian, and Morgan were all a lap down. I'll keep going with these guys a lap down. Jiren Yersum in 21st, lap down. Benjamin Nelson. Hey, a shout out to Benjamin Nelson. He didn't know how to get out of the way of fast cars. You saw him do a great job of getting out of the way of the leaders today. Nice job, Benjamin. I always like to shout out to those back markers who do a good job. 23rd, Al Heaton. 24th, Simon Van Doon, followed by Robert Ripple, who had some trouble. He parked his car on the side of the road. I hope that finally got taken away. Timo Tullian and blew an engine, hit the wall at about 9,000 miles an hour. I hope he's okay. Best wishes to his family. Matthias Sony in 27th. Dujan Bolden, 25 laps down in 28th. Dries Nyes had contact with Yuri Yanis in the beginning. He's 29th. Brad Wooden got out early. Sorry, he's going to be 30th. Tom Rathy got lost it and put it in the wall on the first lap. Tom, and the let's give a shout out to the sponsor, Title Influence car. Title Influence in Long Beach. Check them out. Keep the wetlands wet. I don't know what they do. Yuri Yanis in 32nd position. And that rounds out our top 32. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Bill. Well, we do have some drivers lined up for interviews. Let us start with Amjad Yaman, who finished in 5th place, and Bill's going to have a chat with Amjad. Let's bring him in.
Amjad, seems like you like to battle with, if you can hear me now. Amjad, you seem like no matter what series it is, you seem to have a nice battle with Sergio Mora every week.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? He got the better of me this time, but yeah. We're going balls out for the last 5 or so laps. That was so much fun.
Yeah, now, you took left sides, and if I remember right, maybe Ayrton can jump in. It seems like Mora took left sides as also, but man, he had a horrible pit stop. How did your pit stop go?
It went as planned. I did take the left side tires to get the advantage on the first couple of laps, but towards the end, I probably could have used it against Sergio.
You can get left sides in, it doesn't cost you any time because you can get it in the time it takes to fuel?
That's correct.
Yeah, which is interesting because our leader didn't take any tires. Are the tires slow? Do you, when you first come out of the pits, do you suffer from that, or is it? Well, let me ask you this: do you think 4 tires would have helped you?
No, it takes way too much time to take off 4 tires. It's either 2 or none.
Got it. Well, a nice race. Hey, how was the setup in this cold weather? How did we have a new setup? We've ditched the season 8 setup. We've gone back to the season 7 setup. Maybe it rotates a little bit better. How did it feel for you?
In this weather, it felt pretty good. It was a little snappy on the front end, but little play with both pedals, and you'll fine with it.
Okay, well, congratulations. Top 5 has been a long time since you got there, so that's good. Maybe we can see another top 5 and get back to that Amjad Yaman strategy of top 5s every week.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Okay, thanks, Amjad. We'll see you next time. Back to you, Rich.
Thank you. Well, now we are going to bring our second place finisher into the booth. That is Sam McAleer, and Ayrton's going to have a chat with Sam.
Thanks, Richard. Just have to wait until Sam gets into the booth. Hey, Sam, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Well, congratulations on the second place finish. That was definitely a hard-fought one with Zabo coming up on you at the end there. And I think that all kind of came from your pit strategy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, usually on the shorter races, the 45-minute races, I always seem to think that an early pit stop plays out well. So I tried again today. I managed to get out ahead of Sabo. I'm not sure what happened to him, and it played out in my favour. So it was good.
Yeah, well, Zabo actually had a slower pit stop because he took all 4 tires, while I think you only took just left side tires. But you seem to be struggling quite a bit was it your tires that were making it difficult for you, because you seem to be struggling on lap times?
Yes, after I'd taken the tyres, the car just felt horrible. So I kind of wished I hadn't taken anyway, because I was running about half a second to 1 second faster before I'd taken the new left side tyres.
Well, either way, second place is second place, and definitely respectable considering that the winner was Evan Maillard, and he's insanely fast. So that makes one of your best finishes so far. I think your best, since you have third place beforehand. So you're looking really good for the season so far in the championship.
Yeah, I'm trying my best. I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. There was a lot of contact at the start of that race there, and I just tried to avoid it all. And I managed to do that luckily, so it's good.
Well, congratulations once again. Thanks for talking to us, Sam.
Thank you.
Okay, back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Ethan. Thank you, Sam. Well, we have one more person to talk to, and that is indeed our winner, Evan Maillard. So let's bring him into the booth, and I will have a chat with him. 1 second. Evan Maillard, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Well, Evan, a race today, you started off in 6th place because of the quick 6 gimmick, but you worked your way to the front fairly easily, and after that, they couldn't catch you. You took no tires during the pit stop, I believe, and you end up winning by about 8 seconds. So one of the easier races for you?
Well, yeah, one of the easiest. Also, like Richard and Jan and Mo weren't here, so it was a bit easier than usual.
All right.
What made it easier as well was the crush in turn 1. I actually was on 2 wheels trying to avoid it. It was pretty funny. But yeah, luckily my car went back on 4 wheels before I had to brake.
All right. Let me ask you, Ivan, you didn't take any tires in the pit stop. Did the car feel any different after your pit stop, or was it pretty much the same throughout the race for you on tires?
A little bit different because they had cooled down a little bit, but it took like 2 corners or 3 to hit them back up. And yeah, I took only, well, I didn't take any tires because the balance was very nice on the setup with the worn tires. So yeah, I didn't want to ruin it by taking only 2 tires on the side of the car.
Right. Now, this is your 3rd win of the season already, and we're only on race number 5. So obviously, you are the standout and the one to beat at the moment. Do you think you can carry that forward into the upcoming races?
Well, at least I hope, but you never know. So yeah, let's just hope it can continue like that. And yeah, let me congratulate Sam for his 2nd place. That was really awesome.
All right. Now, look, I can't let you go without a little bit of a reference to the lively conversation that's been going on the Blondies forum between yourself and a few other drivers. How are you feeling about all of that?
Oh, well, it's all good. Well, yeah, I had a bit of a banter with others, but it's all fine now, and yeah.
Okay, Evan. Well, thank you for talking to us, and congratulations on, dare I say, an easy race for once. And certainly we will be watching you in the future to see you take on these guys week in, week out, and certainly you put on a good show for us every week. Thank you.
Thank you guys. See ya.
All right, well, that is it for the interviews at this point in time. We are getting information that Uras Jelenko, who is not here today, Bill, is going into
Yeah.
surgery once again, and we wish him all the best for that surgery. Do we have any information on what it
Yeah.
is?
You know, he's. I don't think it's life threatening. I think it's that darn leg again. That I guess he broke it. I think it's his ankle. So, they just have to keep going in there. So, for everybody at GSRC and for all the guys in the Blondie series, I speak for them. And get better soon. We will miss you. And get back when you can. And there'll be a spot for you when you're ready, buddy.
Yes, and certainly I echo those sentiments. Uros is one of my mates. I've learned I've only met him on iRacing, but certainly I wish you all the best, Uros, and let us know how things go when you come out of surgery. I know when I went in for my surgery, guys on iRacing were telling me and wishing me well, so it's a great community we have here, Eton, and certainly people you have never seen become your friends, hey?
Yeah, and I've been rooting for yours for quite a while now, so I hope he gets better as soon as possible and gets back to racing and hopefully fighting for the win as well in a lot of these races in the future.
Thanks, guys. So, just a quick thought, Bill and Eton, on this race. Perhaps not one of the most exciting, but I found it a very interesting tactical race, Bill.
Yeah, a couple of shout outs. I'd like to give Benjamin Nelson. I already talked about him in the points. It's a nice finish for him, and he's doing a good job. And now I'm going to go up to the leader. You know, I think Maillard is really understanding. He started in 6th. I think he was a lot more patient this week at getting through there and not quite so desperate. We've seen him in the past be really aggressive going for the lead. I think he realizes now that it's a long race. He doesn't need to get to the front by the end of the first lap. And I think that's, once he figures that out, and I think he has, he's going to be tough to beat.
Well, he is always tough to beat, Evan Maillard. He is one of the best that I have seen in an MX-5. But Evan, your thoughts?
Well, I second what Bill said. Evan Maillard, he's the only driver with more than one win, so with 3 wins now this season, so he's definitely going to be the driver to beat. I also just want to commend Sam McAleer again because that was a great run. Really good job at holding off Tomas Szabo with a fairly unstable car, so really good run for him. I hope that he can maybe get a win in the future, repeat some of his Season 3 glory.
Thank you, Evan. And for me, I thought that the race, the guy who really raced hard and did a great job was Tomas Szabo. Sam McAleer and Evan got 1st and 2nd, but Tomas, having taken 4 tires in the pit stop, which would have cost him an extra 10 seconds or so, certainly did a wonderful job to catch up to Sam McAleer towards the end of that race there. Got ahead of Sergio Mura and Amjad Yaman as well. So hats off to you, Tomas. Great job today. Well, folks, that is the end of our broadcast. And as usual, we come to the close and we have to thank a number of people. Firstly, we want to thank our title sponsor, Blondies Bar in Long Beach. Please visit blondieslb.com. Blondies is the place to be. Also, we wish Cozy Cabins in Green Valley Lake all the best. Visit cozycabinsgreenvalleylake.com to reserve top quality lodging at a reasonable price. Green Valley Lake is the best kept secret of Southern California's San Bernardino Mountains. And on your stay, also stop in at the Eagle's Nest Tavern. We would like to thank everyone at the Quality Racing Syndicate, that is Bill and his team, for organizing this series. We also thank iRacing.com, XSplit, Twitch.tv, Audio Technica, Behringer, and Ava Media for providing hardware and software that we use for our broadcasts. Thanks to the team today, guys. Great job as usual, Eton and Bill, and of course our director Giancarlo, and not forgetting the camera sets provided by Dougie Beard. If you would like to find out more about us, the Global Sim Racing Channel, our website is www.globalsimracingchannel.com. Go there to find our schedule along with archived races and race highlights as well. We can also be found on Facebook at facebook.com/Global Sim Racing Channel and on Twitter at GSR Channel. Pardon me for 1 second. A special thank you to Eric Ekholm, who provides us with some great music. You can find it not only here on GSRC, but also in TV commercials, movie trailers, iTunes, and Spotify. If you do like the music, tell Eric where you heard it. He's on Twitter at Eric Ekholm. Our upcoming broadcasts. First off, we have tomorrow, Sunday, that will be October 12th. We have the Northwest Majors at the big one, Bathurst, and they will be running the V8 supercars there, of course. The Bathurst race is on tomorrow in real life as well. In New South Wales at Bathurst, that is where I will be tomorrow in front of my TV. On Wednesday, October 15, we have ASRS ovals, and they will be running at Talladega in the truck, the Silverado. The following Sunday on October 19, we have the week 13 Spec Racer Ford race. Don't miss this one, folks. It comes around only once every 3 months. This time it'll be at Mid-Ohio full. You will have a huge field there, and you'll have all the top SRF drivers coming to race in that one. So look forward to that. And then the Sunday following that, which will be, it's on the same Sunday. And that's also October 19. We will be having VSRA, the Virtual Sim Racing Association. They'll be running at Road America in the Riley Daytona MKXX. So, bunch of races to look forward to. But until then, please race hard, but race clean, and we'll see you on track.